guys, I'd like to show you my M7 train here. So I've done all the coding myself. Got a control chip here that I've done. There's another chip here for the control stand, and then one to operate the control desk. I may or may not combine the two, but for now they're separate E2s. So on an electric train you've got the control switch, you've got a actual battery switch, and you've got a traction switch and all that fun stuff. Here, it's all combined into one, so if I turn this off, it all shuts down. The screens stay on because, well, it's wire and I don't really know how to turn them off. So what you've got to do, so if you're in release here and you try and press this button here, this is the charge button, charge the brakes, and you can see it doesn't work. But if I put it in service, I can now charge the brakes. And you can also hear the compressor kicking in, and what's going to do is going to charge the main reservoir up to 130 psi, and what it's already done is charge the brake cylinder up to 90 psi. So there you go. So once it reaches 130 psi, the brakes are now charged. So what I'll do now is I'll go into coast, and if it's in coast, that means there's no throttle and there's no brake. So what I'm effectively doing now is releasing the brakes. So the brakes are now released, the brake cylinder needle has gone to 0, the train brake pipe has gone to 90, and the equalising reservoir has also gone to 90. If I apply the brakes again, you'll see the train brake is going down to 20, the train brake cylinder is going up to 90, and the main reservoir has dropped to 60. Now I'm not sure if that's 100% realistic, but that kind of makes sense to me, so that's what I've done. The equalising reservoir has also dropped to 20 to match the train brake pipe. So what I've also done with this, because of Gmod's physics, I'm not quite sure why it's like this, but it is. I can apply a little bit of the power handle, or the brake, the throttle in this case. Gather a little bit of speed, about 5 or 6. So you see how it's pretty much staying at 6 miles an hour. It will drop very slowly. See as it's done now, 5 miles an hour, and that'll like slowly drop to 0, just like in real life. Now, if I turn that feature off, it slows down much quicker. And these switches are interlocked, so I'll need to go in here. And oh no, that's okay, I can go into that. This will take me into platform 1 at Rockfort. This is where we are at the moment. A little bit of power back on. So the brakes, when the brake cylinder needle goes to 0, then I can take off. I don't need to be in forwards to do that. There we go. If I go back into coast now, the train speed stays fairly constant. It's at 16 miles per hour currently, slowly dropping through 15. So we're in the station platform, so I'm going to try and stay around 15. It seems pretty reasonable. I'll just come down the end because on these terminal stations, the station building's usually at the end. So this will make it easiest for the passengers to get on. Right there. The brake cylinder is going up to 90 again. Brake pipe has gone down to 20, so the brakes are applied. Now, so what I'll do now is I'll shut down this cab because I'm not going to be using it. Turn the markers on. Off. Power handle can stay at 2. The cab's cut out, so it won't actually do anything. So it doesn't matter what that says. Oops. Turn off the headlights too. Yeah, so this is the M7 train. It's in Metro North, just around New York. On the Harlem line, these are used. I think they're used on the Hudson line too, not too sure. So, this train number is 4146. If you come back to the back one, it's 4204 as well. On the B cars, the last digit is actually a odd number. That's an even number, so it's not really 100% realistic. But if you type RN and you've got random numbers enabled on the rattle can chip, you can type RN in the chat and then it'll choose a random number for you. I'll just show you this down here. So, between the sets, there's Ethernet ports. That is really weird, obviously, but that's how I've done it. In real life, they go through the coupler, but I don't really know how to do that. I guess I could put the Ethernet port in there, but still, it's an Ethernet port. That's really weird. The other option was to use a USB port, and obviously that's not much better. So we're going with the Ethernet port. Come into the other cab now. I'll just make sure this is updated with the broken compressor. But so we're in a B cab now. That's 0. So that's an odd number. That should be okay. Turn the cab on. Now, when you first get into the cab, the brakes are not charged. There's no air in the system whatsoever, so all the needles are at 0. So what you've got to do, once again, put it into service, charge the brakes. The equalising reservoir will go up to 20, the brake cylinder is going up to 90, and the main reservoir is going up to 130. As soon as it reaches 130, brakes are now charged. So, that's not me. So what I've got here, this is Magnum's cab signal. So you press E on it and then you can come here and then put a cool little thing. I do like a 600 series for the train number. In real life, I found that's between Southeast and Grand Central. So that's what I've done here. That's going to be similar to in real life. Oh, one thing I didn't do. So this is my DVA chip. So what you do is you set the route. So the route is express between Dragon's Rock and Rockford Unity Station. So we'll do 4. And the direction, we're going up. So 1 is simply just up the list. And up the list is also up the map. And then if you set it to 0, it'll go down the list. And aux announcements, I leave them off because they're annoying. I did add them so you can have like, oh, don't smoke, you know, don't leave your rubbish all over the floor, that sort of thing, but it gets annoying because they're very repetitive because there's only 5 of them, and that should be set up now. So you see our next stop's changed to Rockford. That means I've got to open the doors here. And then it should say my voice. There you go, so it tells you where you are. It doesn't open the doors, because this loco is done with rattle can. If you change the body groups, you have to like refresh the E2. I don't really want to do that. You could set it to base constantly scan, but if you leave that on, it uses more ops or more CPU time. And as you can see, I'm already using 1000 ops as it is, so don't really want to add any more to that. They will say the people are on at this point, so the doors will quote unquote close, and then we were good to go. And away we go. Probably should be doing 15 as well, but oh well. Yeah, so now that I'm on coast, see how it pretty much stays at the same speed. So if I didn't do that, it used to slow down way too quickly all the time, and it was really annoying. So now it pretty much coasts. The DVA actually announces each stop as you go along the line. but it's pretty quiet because you've got all the train sounds to deal with. Of course, in real life you wouldn't have that problem because you wouldn't hear all the outside noise inside the train. The bogies I've got on this currently are the Bombardier S2s, and they're the best bogies in the game. Apparently they don't seem to derail unless it's a really bad track. The bogies you're seeing now, they're out of bots pack, and the hitbox of those are pretty bad. So what I've done is I've put the Bombardier S2s underneath and then hollowed the bogies over the top. That way you get a good hitbox, but the bogies are meant to go on this thing. He's already gone. Yeah, see, up, down for the fireside's up. So he's going the same way as me, but he's nowhere near me. So it's okay. As for what speed I'm doing, I usually try and keep it around 50 miles an hour because if you go too much faster than that, because of how sharp these curves are, it will come off. I think in real life you'd be going even slower, but because there are so many sharp curves on this map and you can't really make them wider because of map size limitations in Source, you're probably better off just going around the corners a bit quicker, otherwise you'd be crawling all the way up. And as I found about last time I ran, if you use that centre track, you actually come off and you go inside the rails. So it's a bug that's got to be fixed. I mentioned that earlier, didn't I? So yeah, so now you can coast into the platform. You don't just if you let off the power straight away. That was a bit too much brake, but yeah. a bit of getting used to, but at least now you can coast into the platform. It doesn't just stop at the end, because if you let off the power, that's pretty much what it does. Just close them straight away, no one's coming. So these trains are in Train Sim World. I've had to base some aspects of it off the game because there's not a lot of info on these, as it is on most trains. So I just kind of used a bit of guesswork and also base it off the one that's in Train Sim World, and then tried to use a bit of common sense where I can. Well, it's come out pretty good. Well, there's pretty much not much more to say about this. You've pretty much seen how it all works. You've seen me stop at a station. Yeah, sign off here. See you later. Thanks for watching.
This station is Dragon's Rock. This train terminates here. Please alight from the train.